oh my God, this episode went beyond any possible expectation I had. Like, I was expecting stupid. I was not expecting this. This was beautiful. This was beautiful. If you like this episode, okay, you have the mental capacity of a 6-year-old. Okay? Not the heart of a 6-year-old, not looking through the eyes of a 6-year-old, but the mental capacity of a 6-year-old. Okay? Please rate this high. Oh, please rate this high on Rotten Tomatoes, so that way you can establish that you are as pathetic and as stupid and as useless as I know you are. Okay? First off, this whole episode was him just to get off the planet. That's all this episode was. You want to know why? Season 1 is 8 episodes. So, I'm going to make a prediction. You're not going to know anything about Baby Yoda or anything about the Baby Yoda storyline until Season 2. So that just in time for you to renew your Disney Plus subscription. Okay? The Baby Yoda storyline isn't going to be resolved this season. Okay? Because this episode absolutely establishes they need the Baby Yoda to keep you hooked on this show as long as they possibly can. Okay? Because if you rate this high, they can have 6 more episodes of filler, nothing shows, and you'll keep watching, and they're going to string this storyline out for as long as they can. Guaranteed, there's no way you're going to know, there's no way this Baby Yoda story arc is going to be done in 8 episodes. There's no way. Okay? Like I said in my first video on this show, welcome to the Mandalorian Baby Yoda TV show. Baby Yoda TV show. Because that's what this is. Okay. Let's get on with the stupid. So, he starts off walking back. But I thought you needed a blurg. Why isn't he writing a blurg? How did he get back down off the mountain? Don't you need a blurg? You see what I mean? Do you understand the bullshit I'm trying to explain to you here? I don't know how more blatant I can possibly be. The whole blurg aspect was bullshit in episode 1. And the beginning of episode 2 reinforces it. I mean, come on, seriously. Then, he gets jumped by what we end up finding out. Okay? Now, the way it's set up, I don't know if it's 2 bounty hunters or 3 bounty hunters. Okay? But either way, it's stupid because the fob, he sees the fob. Now, the purpose of the fob is to establish that they're bounty hunters. Okay? So we know that, again, I don't know if it was 2 or 3, because when that last one comes out running, I don't know if it's the one that he was fighting or if it just came out of nowhere. I really couldn't tell. So the fob is establishing that they're bounty hunters. Okay? Which again establishes, how can there be more than one bounty hunter being sent on a job? And who's sending these bounty hunters? But guaranteed, and I'm going to make another prediction, guaranteed you're never going to have that explained. Because if it's another person trying to get it, you're not going to know. Okay? I'm probably going to be wrong on this one, but I'm putting it out there just in case. just in case I'm right. So we know that these two guys, I'm just going to say two guys for right now. We know that these two guys are bounty hunters who don't have blasters. You know, bounty hunters who don't have blasters because they wanted a hand-to-hand combat scene. Because if they had blasters, the Mandalorian would have been dead. So they couldn't have blasters, so they had to have melee weapons. Like, you have to have the mental capacity of a 6-year-old to buy this bullshit, to like this show. And I'm going to be repeating it because there's too many other examples. Then, again, if it's just two, one of them, for some god-awful reason, decides to run to the Baby Yoda. Why? He knows that the Mandalorian isn't down. Why would a bounty hunter do that? So that he can get shot and we can end the fight because it's been, 3.5 minutes. The fight scene is over. We need to end it. We'll have the bounty hunter decide to just run to the egg so that the Mandalorian can shoot him. Let's say it was a third bounty hunter. What the hell was the third bounty hunter waiting for? While the first two were fighting, why didn't the third just either help in the fight and overpower the Mandalorian, or while the other two were fighting, the third could have stolen the crib? But, it was 2.5 minutes. We need some kind of battle fight scene for no other reason but to, because it's not like they have a story. So, the only reason the last bounty hunter turned his back on another bounty hunter to just go after the crib for no reason was so that the Mandalorian could just end the fight because it's been, we only want the fight to last 2.5 minutes. We'll just end it by him shooting an idiot for turning his back on him. Which is why he did it. Just so that you know, okay? Then we have the Jawas. Okay, now, as far as I know, Jawas are just scavengers, but I'm not going to make a big deal of them tearing apart the Razor's Crest, or Mandalorian ship, because I guess that works. I still think it's a little stupid and forced, but whatever. And the fact that there's Jawas there is just bad enough. It's like, oh yeah, Jawas. You remember the Jawas, right? The blatant and pathetic, what's the word I'm looking for? Fan service and just references are just all over this show. But then he starts shooting them. And it's like, well, okay, what's your plan? Like, I know you're pissed, but you're shooting at them. You're from long range. They scatter. They run to the sandcrawler, and which is why they had to have the Mandalorian fire from such a far distance. So that way, once they started scattering, he'd run down, and by the time he got to the sandcrawler, it's too late. They already all got in and they closed it, as opposed to being, waiting until they got closer range, then started firing so that they wouldn't be able to escape. But even if they did, what was his plan? Oh wait, the writers actually didn't have a plan. Hold on. The writers didn't have a plan on what would happen if the Mandalorian actually caught them, because he was never meant to catch them in the first place. So then he climbs up on the sandcrawler, and I'm going, wait a minute, what happened to the baby? Again, because they don't have to explain how the crib, or that little, whatever that magnetic thing is that connects to the crib, it's now 50 feet away from them behind the sandcrawler. How did that happen? And not only that, if it's supposed to be like at a certain height to the device, when he started climbing up the sandcrawler, shouldn't the crib have gone up too? No. Don't worry about how the devices in this show work. That's not important. Okay? And because whatever they needed to do, that's what it does. Because after all, they're giving the show to the mentality of 6-year-olds. They don't have to explain it. You don't care. So then I'm going, what's your plan? I still don't know what his plan is. So he gets to the top of the sandcrawler and gets his ass kicked. Like, what did you expect was going to happen? You were going to get to the top of the sandcrawler and they were all going to go, I give up? And this is the best bounty hunter in the parsec. It's just, like, how pathetic are all the other bounty hunters? If the Mandalorian is the best, the other ones have gotta suck rocks. So he gets up there, all of them shoot him, and again, the 6-year-old mentality sees this, laughs, goes ha ha ha, he falls, and so now his ship doesn't work. He's lost on a planet. Oh no! Whatever will he do? Oh, wait! He's gonna be able to find his way back to the guide. I mean, come on! How simplistic does this story have to be? Okay, even the 6-year-olds watching this saw that coming. And out of curiosity, how does he know how to get back to the guide? Did he readjust the fob so that it could guide him back to the guide's farmhouse? Why not? Nobody else knows how the fob works. He could have just as easily have done that, and it would have made just as much sense as him just randomly walking and eventually finding where the guide's house was. So now they have to go to the Jawas, and the guy goes, maybe there's something you can trade. Now I'm going, the hell does he have to trade? What, he can't trade the remainder of his ship, so that's out. What else has he got? He sure as hell isn't gonna trade his armor. Okay? Even if he trades his weapons, it's not going to be anywhere close enough to, trade the gear, all the equipment that he sold. So what in the name of God are we expecting him to be able to trade? Obviously, nothing. The show knows that he has nothing to trade. So what do? They invent the egg. This is how pathetic and empty and useless this show is. The writers knew the Mandalorian had nothing to trade, so the only thing he could trade was his services. For an egg, excuse me, that the job was used as a goddamn snack. Okay? They were willing, and I'm going to bitch about this when it happens too. I'm going to bitch about it now, and I'm going to bitch about it when I get to it later on. They were willing to trade all his gear for a goddamn egg snack. That's how pathetic this show is. Please rate this show high. Okay? So I know how pathetic I know you all are. So, he goes to the cave where, I'm just going to call it the Rhino, where the Rhino is. And, gee, for for some reason, he brings the baby Yoda with him. He doesn't have to. It makes no sense. He could have easily have left the baby Yoda with the guide. It's not like the Jawas wanted it. At the very least, he could have kept it with the guide. And if if the Mandalorian never returned, the Jawas would have left and the guide would have taken it with them. Right? It's not like they're thieves. The Jawas aren't going to steal something from somebody. That's not how they work. So he could have left the baby Yoda with the guide. Gee, I wonder why he brought the baby Yoda with him. Do you understand how you have to have the mental capacity of a 6-year-old to appreciate and like this show? I told you there's a lot of examples. Don't get mad at me. Get mad at the show. I'm not going to go through all the fight because it's just bad. But so first off, his rifle, okay, apparently doesn't work if it's covered in mud. This is a bounty hunter, okay, who gets his ass kicked regularly by animals, okay? It's the blurgs from the first episode and whatever the rhino is on this episode, okay? This is a bounty hunter that cannot handle animals. Heaven forbid any job he has in the future involves a large animal because he's toast, okay? And this is the best bounty hunter in the parsec. How pathetic are the standard bounty hunters if you have a bounty hunter who's supposed to be the best and constantly gets his ass kicked by the local animals? Jesus Christ. So he gets his ass kicked throughout the show, the fight, which is obvious. And then I love this scene. This scene goes back to what it literally goes back to the fight scene at the end with the blurg, because it simply repeats the exact same thing on how he gets saved with the blurg. Now remember, hold on, I'm getting ahead of myself. So the Mandalorian is standing there or on his knees, and the rhino's chasing him, but this time, instead of putting his hand out, he takes the knife and he does this, like it's gonna do anything. Oh, wait a minute. Just like with the blurg, he once again forgets he's got a goddamn blaster rifle on his hip. Does he use the blaster rifle? Nah. Apparently this knife was a better option. Oh my God. The stupid is glorious. Oh God, what's that? The force is strong in this one. The stupid is strong in this Mandalorian, I swear to God. But before he dies, before he's about to get his ass kicked, Baby Yoda has the power of the Force, because Baby Yodas are now born with a high level of midichlorians and don't need to be trained and are able to use the power of the Force, even though he's nothing more than a baby and never been trained. Hey, all of you guys that made videos about how Rey is a Mary Sue, are you gonna call Baby Yoda a Mary Sue? Because there's no goddamn way Baby Yoda was able to know about the Force, know how to use the Force, and be able to use the Force without being trained in it. What? But for the last 50 years, he was being trained? Is that going to be your backup excuse? How do you train a baby? Okay? Seriously. This show is going to use the fact that since there's no history and no specified understanding of how the Yoda race works, they're going to make it so that he can do whatever the hell they want. Okay? For all of you who made videos talking about how Rey is a Mary Sue and her ability to use her powers is absolute bullshit, you sure as hell better be using this for Baby Yoda, or you're all full of shit and you're all hypocrites. Okay? Anything else? Oh yeah. So then, this was glorious. This was absolutely glorious. So, the Baby Yoda uses the telekinetic abilities, drops it down, and the Mandalorian takes his knife, stabs the giant rhino, and the rhino dies. Please tell me you bought that. Please tell me you're so goddamn brain dead, stupid, and useless that when the Mandalorian, and then only that, you see the knife and only this much of the blade, okay, stuck into the rhino, okay? Out of a maybe 4 or 5 inch blade, only 2 or 3 inches was stuck in it. And that killed the rhino. That killed the rhino. Please tell me you bought it. Please tell me you brain dead, pathetic, useless, goddamn, ignorant, you're not even 6 years old. Even a 6-year-old would look at that and go, that doesn't make sense. But please tell me how you're not going to complain about it. How you're going to just gloss over the fact that the Mandalorian took a 5-inch blade knife, stabbed him on the side, and that killed the beast. You're pathetic. This show is pathetic. This is what I meant by the glorious, the stupid in this episode was beyond my expectations. Was absolutely glorious. Anything else? So then he gets the egg, and this egg, it was an egg. It wasn't anything. It was a snack. It was a goddamn snack, and that was worth all the gear that they stole from the Razor Crest, whatever the Mandalorian ship is called. I think it's Razor Crest. Do you understand how simplistic this show is? Have you figured it out yet? Anything else? Oh, yeah. The guide just also happens to know how to repair a ship that is pre-Empire. Okay? Just whatever the guide needs to be, that's what he is. Not only that, the Mandalorian even says it would take days with a full crew and a repair facility. So how long does it take 2 guys without a repair facility? Weeks? Months? Because if that's the case, wouldn't the client have assumed that the Mandalorian failed? Wouldn't they have sent, for the entire time that they were repairing the ship, it must have taken, if not days, weeks, if not longer. Well, considering after literally, maybe 2-3 hours after the Mandalorian found the Baby Yoda, another group of bounty hunters showed up. After a couple of days or a couple of weeks, no other bounty hunters showed up? Well, of course not. The story doesn't want them to. Oh, even fan fiction writers would have at least thrown in a couple of more bounty hunters. This is worse than more amateurish than fan fiction. Anywhere else? Oh yeah, and the guy does it for free because you were my guest, so I'm gonna help build your ship for free. But to guide you requires payment of one of the blurgs. You want me to guide you? Because again, I thought it was his guest. No, he wasn't his guest then, but now he's his guest. Like, what caused the change from him being his guest? I don't know. The story sure as hell doesn't know. Yeah. Oh, anyway, I don't want to ramble. I'm sure there's more stuff that I can find that's bullshit, like the whole sleeping thing and the fact. Oh, the one other one. How does the goddamn Baby Yoda keep getting out of the crib? I'm just curious. Because it's not like we ever see him get out of the crib, right? It's always out of frame. So I'm just wondering, how does the baby? Because if the Baby Yoda floated, like we knew the Baby Yoda was gonna show powers. We know that. So why didn't you just have him float? Anyway. I don't know how episode 3, I don't think episode 3 or any of the other episodes can possibly top episode 2 in stupid. But I am so looking forward to what new, adventurous, stupid, and pathetic this show is going to bring forth. Oh, God. Again, welcome to the Mandalorian Baby Yoda TV show geared to the 6 to 8 year old mentality, which is what I believe is you, because you're gonna by the next episode I'm sure I'm gonna find out how you guys gave this episode like what, a 92 or higher, guaranteed a 92 or higher. You're pathetic and it's glorious. Anyway, I'm out of here. See ya.